the chief of diapers in Congress who have the lowest approval rating in history. I think we could fix that with people like Adam Kokesh going in there with fresh faces and real ideas and real answers and not just manufactured Hegelian solutions. He's with us on the program today, folks. Adam Kokesh, Kokesh for Congress. That's the website with a K, kokeshforcongress.com. And we're also promoting this great site, this giant money bomb on, remember, the 5th of November? It's this November 5th, all spelled out with a 5, thisnovember5th.com, and go pledge $25 or more to your favorite candidates. And let's get these guys elected and not just selected. I hope, Adam, you have a competent team of election fraud experts on your staff.
Well, we do. We have people who are working on that issue in particular, but there's another distinct challenge to running for office in New Mexico, because there's this one demographic that they vote very regularly. They have the highest rate of any demographic. We're coming out and voting, and yet we cannot reach them at all. No matter what we do, we can't get to these people. They're not hearing the message, and it's really frustrating. But it's those dead Democrats. Dead Democrats, they're just the most important voting bloc here in New Mexico, but don't worry, we're working on it.
Yeah, I mean, people say the independents. You know, you look at the races right now in New York, where even Sarah Palin went with the independent, who was more conservative than the Republican, and then you look at what's going on in New Jersey with the guy that's already in their Corzine having a real trouble, the race completely put on its head by another independent over there. I mean, you know, this can really happen. Meanwhile, we've got Paul Begala and even El Lushbo himself saying that, you know, third parties are cockroaches out there. They're just the turd in the punch bowl. They're just ruining everything. Meanwhile, we have a story on our website. Nearly half of Americans support forming a new political party.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. But, you know, the problem here is that when Democrats are coming back to life to vote, that's the real problem. It's the dead Democrats that we can't reach out to. And so that's a distinct New Mexico problem we're working on.
I think Democrats are going to have the same problem Republicans had in the last election. They're just sleeping right now. The Kool-Aid wore off. They got the Fool-Aid crash going on right now. All right, we talked about words earlier, Adam, and let me throw these words at you. And I'll just throw this phrase at you. You tell me what you think of it. Forced volunteerism. How do you like that one?
Yeah, only the government could convince you that that oxymoron was something plausible.
Get this, here over the weekend, or I think it was 2 weeks ago, at Texas A&M, Obama and Poppy Bush got together to laud each other on their dedication to service. That's right. Mm-hmm. President Barry Obama offered a powerful homage there on the 16th of October to Poppy Bush at a forum on public service, crediting his GOP predecessor with inspiring legions of Americans to improve their communities. He called George Bush's words, and entire life an inspiration, okay? An example of an extraordinary ripple effect that one life humbly with love in one's country and service to one's fellow citizens can have. But here's the meat of this. Check this out. Wow. Obama received warmly inside the Rotor Auditorium. There was 500 protesters actually outside in a free speech zone. He played off of Bush's call for 1,000 points of light at his 1989 inaugural, building on it just as Clinton and Bush and George Bush Jr. and the current administration have built on the foundation created by Poppy Bush 20 years ago, the founder of volunteerism, 1,000 points of light. Obama said, quote, he didn't call for one blinding light shining from Washington. He didn't just call for a few bright lights from the brightest nonprofits, Obama said. He called for a vast galaxy of people and institutions working together to solve problems in their own backyards. 20 years later, think for a minute about the impact that George Herbert Walker Bush has had. Bush, using his cane, introduced Obama with a gracious, much briefer remark. This is what Poppy Bush said about Obama. He lauded the 44th president for embracing a vision of public service not unlike his own, and recalled their first encounter in 2005. Obama, then a senator, came to Houston when thousands of refugees poured in the city after Katrina. But unlike many other VIPs, Bush said he came to help rather than to grab attention. 1,000 points of light. Barry Obama, all the way back to Poppy Bush. Man, that's change you can believe in.
Oh, wow. Well, it sounds nice. You know, I heard about that on the news and deliberately avoided it. So thanks for filling my head with all that propaganda.
You got to see the picture, because what do they say? A picture is worth 1,000 points of light, right? The picture is them two laughing their asses off under the word unite. I have that at my MySpace. That's my MySpace icon.
Yeah. Different elements of the establishment uniting to conspire against the American people.
So volunteerism, as long as it goes with what the agenda is, otherwise it's not called volunteerism, it's called extremism, right?
Oh, right. And heaven forbid you even the Constitution, and you're a crazy radical extremist.
Which I love being now, just as much as I loved being a crazy liberal American-hating anti-warmonger for 8 years. It's a badge of honor for me, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about Obamacare? I call it Obama perestroika. That's another word for reform. 2,000 pages. I told my listeners last week, if you look at War and Peace, and you look at it and you add up the words, one of the biggest books ever written, it's over about $3 million a word. That's what we're paying for.
Well, yeah, I was wondering what that was with 1,990 pages. I mean, is that like a retailer advertising something? Only $19.99. It's not even a full 2,000 pages long. I mean, yeah, that's what's really going to sell it to the American people. No, I mean, the whole thing is a crock. There's not a single person who's going to be voting on that or signing that bill who's read the whole darn thing, and that's tragic. I mean, and I think when they get so lazy, with what they're doing, that they just, I mean, maybe it's deliberate, maybe they're working hard to screw everybody over, but they put it together as a 1,990-page bill.
It's on sale.
Are they hiding stuff in there? I mean, I know that they are. But, or are they just letting favored members throw, like, here's 100 pages. Can I get 100 pages of the bill? And who knows if there are parts of it that are then contradicting other parts. One lobbyist group gets to submit 50 pages here, and another lobbyist group gets to submit 100 pages there, and the speaker gets to start with, her bids to her special interests, and they get to write chunks of this bill. I mean, I don't even know how this thing comes together, and frankly, I really don't care, because bills like this should not even be considered. When you know that people voting on them can't read them, what the federal government has in front of it in terms of what the Congress is responsible for should not be that complicated. The Constitution fits in my back pocket, and I think
it's way more words than the Constitution, but let's not bring that up. That would make us also racist extremists. But, bottom line, you really nailed it, because it's like a used car. How many people will go buy a used car for $1,990 or $19,900? But for $2,001, they're going, no, that's too much for me.